Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Press the subscribe button like this, and then you have to tap the bell icon adjacent to the subscribe button like this, and then you will get the notifications from my channel.
Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is lecture 3 of machine design lecture series, and in this video I'd be explaining shafts in series versus shafts in parallel concepts, all the equations, and then we'll be solving this numerical. This is a very long numerical that I'll be solving live in this video. So watch the video till the end so that you understand the concepts very well, and I'll be solving this numerical step by step along with the complete procedure. I'll be giving you the values, so watch the video till the end so that you understand the concept along with the numerical. So let's start with the video. So in shafts in series, shafts in parallel, so this is basically a continuation of the topic that we were discussing in the last video, design of shafts. So the extension of design of shafts, it can be extended to shafts in series versus shafts in parallel. So in till last video we were having only one shaft, like whether it was solid or it was hollow, but here there are two or more shafts. So two or more shafts, when they are connected in series and parallel, the concept it is known as shafts in series and shafts in parallel. So the first concept, that is shafts in series, let us discuss that first. So here we apply a torque at one end of the shaft in series. So here this torque is applied at the end of at the free end. So it is applied clockwise at the end of shaft 2. So here we are having two shafts, 1 and 2, and we apply a torque at the end of shaft 2. So correspondingly a resisting torque, it will be generated having the same magnitude but in opposite direction. So in shaft in series we have a driving torque applied at one end, that is capital T. The same capital T torque, that is known as resisting torque, it will be generated at the opposite end. Okay, so the torque that is transmitted, so it will be equal. So T1 it is equal to T2, it is equal to T. So the torque that is transmitted for both the members, both the shafts, individual shafts 1 and 2, it will be equal to the overall torque that is applied. Okay, so for shafts in series, remember T1 is equal to T2 equal to T, and the total angle of twist we denote by theta. So the total angle of twist for the combined system of the shaft, it will be equal to the sum of angle of twist for individual shafts. That means total angle of twist theta for the combined system of shaft 1 and 2 will be equal to the individual twist. So theta 1, it corresponds to the angle of twist for shaft 1, and theta 2 angle of twist for shaft 2. So individual angle of twist for shaft 1 and 2, you sum, you will get the total angle of twist for the overall system. So this is shaft in series, and this again you can write as theta is equal to T1 L1 by C1 J1 plus T2 L2 by C2 J2. Okay, and if the material of the individual shaft, that is if the shaft 1 and shaft 2 both are of same material, then C1 equal to C2 equal to C, that you can take common outside. You can write it like this: 1 by C bracket T1 L1 by J1 plus T2 L2 by J2. So this is for shaft in series. Now when we talk in term of shafts in parallel, so let me draw one line. So now let's discuss what is shafts in parallel. So shafts in parallel, it means when the driving torque, it is applied at the junction of two shafts. So here wherever the two shafts are meeting, there the torque is applied. It is not applied at one of the ends, it is applied where the junction is there, or the meeting point between the individual shafts. When we apply a torque at that location, then the system, it is known as shafts in parallel. And what happens, two unequal or two different torques, it will get generated at both the ends of the system. So here you can see torque T, it was applied at the junction of shaft 1 and 2 in clockwise direction. So at the other ends, anti-clockwise direction, we get T1, and at the other end we get T2, but in anti-clockwise direction as well. So when this system, when the torque is applied at the junction of two shafts and the resisting torques are generated at the two other ends in opposite direction, then we call as shafts in parallel system. And for this system, what we have theta 1 equal to theta 2, that is angle of twist for shaft 1, it is equal to angle of twist for shaft 2. We can write as T1 L1 by C1 J1, it is equal to T2 L2 by C2 J2. Okay, and the total torque, that is torque T, it is equal to T1 plus T2, as you can visualize from the picture as well, because this is in clockwise direction. So in order to balance this clockwise torque, this is in anti-clockwise as well as this is in anti-clockwise direction. So capital T, it is equal to capital T1 plus capital T2. This is another equation. So this is shafts in series versus shafts in parallel concept. These are the equations. Now let's solve the numerical. A steel shaft ABCD having a total length of 3.5 meters consists of three lengths having different sections as follows. AB is a hollow section having outside and inside diameters of 100 millimeters and 62.5 millimeters respectively. BC and CD are solid. BC has a diameter of 100 millimeters and CD has a diameter of 87.5 millimeters. If the angle of twist is same for each section, so angle of twist, it is same for each section, this is important, then determine the length of each section. Also find the value of the applied torque and the total angle of twist if the maximum shear stress in the hollow portion is 47.5 megapascals and shear modulus is 82.5 gigapascals. Okay, so this is the diagram of the shaft that is being depicted here in the picture ABCD. So ABCD, so we have three sections AB, BC and CD. In AB we have a hollow section, so AB is a hollow section having length L1 and outside diameter is 100 millimeters, inside diameter is 62.5 millimeters. Then BC, this section has a diameter of 100 millimeters having length L2. Then CD, it is having a diameter of 87.5 millimeters and having length L3. Total length of the shaft from point A to point D, it is given as 3.5 meters. First we need to find the individual lengths L1, L2, L3. So how do we proceed with this equation? So first of all, we can find the individual polar moment of inertia for all the three sections AB, BC and CD. So let's start. So I can say J1, that is for section AB, it is equal to pi by 32 times d outer to the power 4 multiplied by 1 minus k to the power 4, that is inner by outer to the power 4. So this you can take inside or you can write inner by outer to the power 4 in. So here you can substitute d outer. So d outer is 100, d inner by d outer, that is inner is 62.5, outer is 100. You can substitute, you can solve this, multiply by d outer to the power 4 multiply by pi divided by 32. You will get it as equal to 8.32 times. So I am solving in my calculator, you can also solve. So it will be equal to 8.32 times 10 to the power 6 millimeter to the power 4. So this is polar moment of inertia for section AB. so we are denoting as J1. Okay. Similarly, we can say J2, that is for section BC. Now this is solid, so we can directly write pi by 32 times d to the power 4, that is 100 to the power 4. It is equal to, solve along with me, it is equal to 9.82 times 10 to the power 6 millimeter to the power 4. Last, J3 for section CD. It is equal to, again it is a solid, so pi by 32 times d to the power 4, 87.5 to the power 4. Solve along with me, you will get 5.75 times 10 to the power 6 millimeter to the power 4. Okay, so J1 you got 8.32 times 10 to the power 6, J2 9.82 times 10 to the power 6, J3 5.75 times 10 to the power 6. You keep aside, I'll be erasing it in order to solve the question further. So you note down these J1, J2, J3 values. Then it is saying the angle of twist, it is same for all the sections. So see this, it is saying the angle of twist, it is same for all the sections. That means angle of twist, if you can say theta 1, it corresponds to section AB, theta 2 corresponds to section BC, and theta 3 corresponds to CD. So it means theta 1 equal to theta 2 equal to theta 3. So we can equate these two, So if you are equating, we can write the value of theta as TL by Cj. It is equal to TL by Cj. So theta 1 and theta 2, so correspondingly you can write L1 J1, L2 J2. This is equation 1. Second, you are equating theta 1 by 3 with theta 3, you can write TL by Cj, you can write 1 1 equal to again TL by Cj, but this time 3 3. So you understood, right? So theta 1 we are writing as TL1 by Cj1, theta 3 we are writing as TL3 by J3. Because theta, it is equal to TL by Cj, so we are correspondingly using the same nomenclature. For theta 1 we are writing 1 1, theta 2 we are writing 2 2, theta 3 we are writing 3 3. This is equation 2. And again, what we can do, because the total torque and the material, so they have not given the individual materials, they have given the modulus of, or the shear modulus as 82.5 gigapascals. So they have not given the individual modulus for different sections. So it means it is the same material shaft. So we have not taken C1, C2 or C2, C3. We have taken common C, because the material is same, and the total torque, it will be transmitted, it will be same, because the shafts, those are connected in series. Okay, shafts are connected in series, and the total torque, it is same for all the sections, just as we read in the previous slide. So the torque T and the modulus of rigidity or the shear modulus C, it is same. So T and C are same for both the equations. So from first equation we can cancel out, we can get L1 by L2 is equal to J1 by J2, and similarly from equation 2 we can get L1 by L3 is equal to J1 by J3. So in other words, I can write L1 by L2, it is equal to J1 by J2, and L1 by L3, it is equal to J1 by J3. Okay, and previously we have found the values of J1, J2 and J3. Now using those we can get the ratio L1 by L2 and L1 by L3. Now how we will get? Let's substitute. Let me erase some of the portions in order to write. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay, so here let me write L1 by L2. Now L1 by L2, it is equal to J1 by J2. So J1 you calculated as 8.32 times 10 to the power 6. So you write L2 calculated as J2 calculated as 9.82 times 10 to the power 6 millimeter to the power 4. Like values will get cancelled, so the ratio will be, this gets cancelled, the ratio what you will get L1 by L2 is equal to 0.847. Okay, then similarly using this, L1 by L3 is equal to J1 by J3. You can again write L1 by L3, it is equal to J1 by J3. J1 you got 8.32 times 10 to the power 6 whole upon J3. J3 you calculated 5.75 times 10 to the power 6. This is equal to 1 point. So you cancel this out, you take the ratio, it will be 1.447. Calculate along with me. So L1 by L2 you got 0.847, L1 by L3 you got 1.447. Okay, then now I am going to erase everything in order to solve further. You take a note of this one, that L1 by L2 is equal to 0.847, L1 by L3 it is equal to 1.447. Then I am going to erase. So L1 by L2, L1 by L3 we got. Now what we can use the equation that, since from the figure also it is clear, L1 plus L2 plus L3, this is equal to 3.5 meters. So you can write L1 plus L2 plus L3 is equal to 3.5 millimeters, 3.5 meters, it is equal to 3500 millimeters. L1 plus L2 plus L3, so L1 you can take common, 1 plus L2 by L1 plus L3 by L1, it is equal to 3500 millimeters. Now we calculated the value of L1 by L2. So L2 by L1 will be 1 upon 0.847. L1 as it is, 1 plus 1 upon 0.847 plus L3 by L1. So it will be 1 upon L1 by L3, it is equal to 1 upon 1.447. Okay, it is equal to 3500. You take the ratio of this one, you take the ratio of this one, you add plus 1. So L1 it will be equal to 3500 whole upon this entire term within the bracket. So L1 it will be equal to 3500 upon 2. Calculate along with me, 2.8717. So I calculated this value, 1 plus this value, it is equal to 2.8717. So L1 will be equal to 3500 whole upon 2.8717. L1 came out to be 1218.8 millimeters. Okay, L1 it came out to be 1218.8 millimeters. Now we have to calculate the values of L2 and L3. So take a note of this, and then I am going to erase. Now since we were having the ratio L1 by L2 equal to 0.847, so L2 it will be equal to L1 upon 0.847. So L2 we will get as 1439 millimeters. Similarly, we were having L1 by L3, it is equal to 1.447. So L3 it will be equal to L1 upon this value. So L3 we got L3 is equal to 842.2 millimeters. So we got the value of L1, L2, L3. So in the first part of the question it was saying determine the length of each section. It means L1, L2 and L3. So you got the answers L1, L2 and L3 in millimeters. L1 is equal to 1218.8, L2 is equal to 1439, L3 is equal to 842.2 millimeters. So this is the answer. Now you can proceed with the next part. So now let's proceed with the next part. So I am writing this side. So now we have to calculate the value of the applied torque. Value of the applied torque, it means we have to calculate torque if the maximum shear stress in the hollow portion is this much. So since they have given the shear stress value in hollow portion, that is in section AB, so we have to find the torque considering the hollow formula. So the hollow formula for the torque, it is pi by 16 times shear stress times d outer to the power 3 multiplied by bracket 1 minus d inner upon d outer to the power 4 bracket close. Here we have to substitute the values. So pi by 16 will be as it is, shear stress 47.5, then d outer will be 100 multiplied by 1 minus bracket inner by outer, that is 62.5 by 100 to the power 4 bracket close. So if you calculate this, you will get 7 point, so let me calculate pi by 16, yeah, it is 7.9 multiplied by 10 to the power 6. The units will be Newton millimeters. So you have to be careful with the units, because here it was tau it is in megapascal, so megapascal it is directly Newton per millimeter square. Okay, you multiplied by millimeter to the power 3, so it became Newton millimeter. And since di by do, this is dimensionless, so the only unit will be based on these. So Newton per millimeter square for tau, and for d outer to the power 3 it will be millimeter cube. So this gets cancelled, so it will be Newton millimeter. So whatever the value you will be getting, 7.9 into 10 to the power 6, this will be in Newton millimeters. So this is the torque corresponding to this maximum shear stress. Or in other words, you can also write it as 7900 Newton meters. So 10 to the power 3 I absorbed in millimeter, so it became Newton meters, and I multiplied 7.9 with 1000 or 10 to the power 3, it became 7900. So this 10 to the power 6 I break up into 10 to the power 3 and 10 to the power 3. Then 10 to the power 3 I multiplied with 7.9, it became 7900. This 10 to the power 3 second one, it gets absorbed with millimeters, it became meters. So it is finally torque, it is equal to 7900 Newton meters. This is the answer. So it is answer for second part, find the value of the applied torque. So applied torque, it is 7900 Newton meters. This is the answer. Then we have to finally find the total angle of twist. So let me erase everything on the screen. We have to find the total angle of twist. Angle of twist. So since the shaft is in series, so the total angle of twist will be angle of twist corresponding to individual sections AB, BC, CD. So theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3. This will be the total angle of twist. So we can write further, we can write it as T by, so let me write it as TL1 by CJ1 plus TL2 by CJ2 plus TL3 by CJ3. Now torque and the shear modulus, it is same, so we can take it as common outside, so it can be written as T by C bracket L1 by J1 plus L2 by J2 plus L3 by J3. Okay, and again we can write, now substitute the values. So T by C, so T is the torque that you calculated in the previous step, that was 7900 Newton meters, but here since we are talking everything in terms of millimeters, even the value of J, so let's write in terms of 7.9 into 10 to the power 6 Newton millimeter that we got that time, so it will be easy. So Newton millimeters, and C value it is given as 82.5. This we multiply by 10 to the power 3 in order to convert it into Newton per millimeter square. Then bracket L1 by J1 plus L2 by J2 plus L3 by J3. So this, it will be L1 you already calculated in the first step. So L1 it was 1218. 1218.8 whole upon J1. J1 you calculated as 8.32 times 10 to the power 6. Then plus L2 by J2. L2 it was 1439 by J2. J2 was 9.82 times 10 to the power 6 plus L3 by J3. L3 was 842.2. J3 was 5.75 10 to the power 6. Bracket closed. Okay, so this we have to solve. So let me erase on the left hand side so that I can solve, and I am also solving. Meanwhile you also solve in your calculators. So and here I can see that this 10 to the power 6, this is the common, so this we can take it outside. And since the angle of twist, like a shortcut I can tell you here, that this L1 by J1, since it was given that the angle of twist was same for both, for all three, so we can say that L1 by J1 it will be equal to L2 by J2, it will be equal to L3 by J3, or you can solve also. So this, all these three individual values, this ratio and this ratio and this ratio, so this will, these all three will be equal, so you can calculate any one and other three you can write directly. So what I mean to say, inside the bracket what we have here, so for all three terms it will be equal 146.5 only. So you can cross check and it will be the same, because L1 by J1 was equal to L2 by J2, it was equal to L3 by J3. So all the three terms it will be equal 146.5 plus 146.5. Outside we have 7.9 times 10 to the power 6 whole upon 82.5 times 10 to the power 3, and I have taken 10 to the power 6 outside. This 10 to the power 6, it was common for all three, so I have taken it outside. Now let us solve this ratio. So this ratio, it will be equal to 0.042 radians. Since I have already calculated this, so it is 0.042 radians, and in order to convert radians into degrees, you have to multiply by 180 divided by pi. So answer will be 2.406 degrees. So answer will be 2.406 degrees. So you calculated the total angle of twist theta as 2.406 degrees. This is answer for this part. So what we did, we calculated length of each section, then we calculated the applied torque, then finally we calculated the total angle of twist. So I hope this numerical was you understood this numerical, and this was lecture 3. So guys, please like the video if the video was helpful for you. So it takes lot of efforts to create one educational video. So it takes around 4 to 5 hours to create this 20-25 minutes 30 minutes video for you all. So please press the like button and please share this video. Please subscribe and press the notification bell if you are new to this channel, and you can send your video topics, suggestions, feedback, etc. on the email ID mecengineeringexplained2016@gmail.com, and you can also send a hi to this mobile number, a WhatsApp number +919971825851. So again guys, I will request you, please like the video, please share the video, and in the description of the video you can watch other videos and other playlists that you will find very helpful for your mechanical engineering subjects. So I have listed down all the videos and all the video playlists that are related to this. So I would be seeing you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.